sizzling at 4-0. They win the opening tip, and we are underway. To give you a look at the starting lineup, UCLA. Mentioned Bernard, who's averaging 18 and 5. Tiger Campbell, the point guard. He's been on fire from three-point land. They try one immediately from the corner, but off target by Juzang there. Starting lineups brought to you by ZipRecruiter. And now we get a look at a very interesting offense run by the Knights.
Yeah, they call it pressing through their offense. There's not a lot of screens. You know, in a day and age where there's a ton of screens, a year ago, they averaged only 4 screens per game. That's unheard of in college basketball. And it is really a motion-based offense with a lot of passing and cutting and movement without the ball. They want to make you chase. There was one possession I watched last year against Notre Dame. There was 11 passes and no dribbles. 11 in a row. Wow. And so they are going to force UCLA to have to play side to side. They know they can't match up with UCLA's athleticism or their height. So what they've tried to get you to do is get tired, stand up a little bit, be lazy at the defensive end of the floor, and allow them to find a way to score.
A quick substitution. Miles Johnson goes to the bench, and Kenneth Nuba checks in. Bert Holt at the line. And Bellarmine on top 2-0. Nuba's going to roll inside that paint, trying to get in there. He's denied. Good tight defense by the Knights. And Campbell will set it up. He's averaging 13 points, about 5 assists per game. Shot clock was down to 10. And a rebound batted around. It comes to the Knights. And comes to Dylan Penn, who's their #1 player, averaging 15 points a game, leading them in scoring minutes, all sorts of categories.
Well, and let's not forget, they've played Purdue already. They played Gonzaga already. They played the St. Mary's team that's over in Vegas right now, playing in the Maui Invitational that's probably going to make the tournament. They're really tested, and they're excited for the opportunity to play a team like UCLA.
Shot clock down to 7 on the spin move, and up and in. Nicely done by Dylan Penn, the senior out of Evansville, Indiana.
2 possessions, 1 an offensive rebound allowed for some free throws, and that time Penn uses his body. He's the best finisher and scorer that they have at Bellarmine. And UCLA settling for 3s.
Yeah, Campbell will not hit it. Rebound battled for, and Bernard will win that. UCLA coming in perfect, and perfect on that jump shot. Juzang sticks it, the 6'7" junior.
It's a great job and a great opportunity to knock down that 3-point shot. The first 4 shots for UCLA against a team that is smaller and not as athletic have all come from beyond the arc. I'd like to see them post up Jaime Jaquez, try to get him involved in this game and force that defense to collapse before you just settle for 3-point shots.
Penn on the dribble. They whittle that shot clock down again. May see a lot of that in this game. Penn will release, and the 3 won't go. Fight for the rebound. Jaquez coming away with that. Here's Bernard. Bernard pulls up and pops. Can't stick it. Knights coming in, as you mentioned, 0-4. Battle tested, yes. Some serious losses. The #7 Purdue 96-67. Also to Gonzaga 92-50. There's Mick Cronin, 3rd year at the helm for UCLA. As the Bruins rank 20 spots higher than they were in the AP poll when last year got underway.
It's absolutely phenomenal with what he's been able to do in such a short period of time. That run through the NCAA tournament last year was absolutely magical. Right now, I mean, Bellarmine travels with it. I mean, just uncertain of where to go with the basketball, but I think Bellarmine's got to be really pleased with how this game has started. They're rebounding the ball. They're not allowing the Bruins to have a lot of second chance opportunities. They're not allowing them to score at the rim.
Outstanding officiating crew here. John Higgins, John Gaffney, and Michael Irving. Jaquez spins around, and that one won't drop. Couple of excellent looks inside. Now it's going to roll out. It'll go the other way to the Knights. The Bruins at 4-0, including a win over Villanova, the #4 team in the country. This is Scott Davenport, his 17th year at the helm for Bellarmine. He and Mick Cronin very close. They go way, way back, those two. Jaquez with the block.
Well, you mentioned Davenport in this offense that we were talking about for Bellarmine, just so fans understand that maybe are unfamiliar with Bellarmine. They're making the transition from Division II to Division I. And 6 times in the final 10 seasons that they played D2, they led the nation in field goal percentage. in their first season at D1, they had the 3rd highest field goal percentage in the country last year.
Betts on the drive, denied. Shot clock a factor again. It's down to 5. Betts zips this one to Penn. UCLA lockdown defense. That one heaved up there. Shot clock did reset. Juzang on target again. Just pulled up and fired long range for 3.
Just the confidence that he's playing with, the carryover impact of the NCAA tournament to where Johnny Juzang is now. He had only 4 games in the regular season last year where he had 20 or more points. Only 4. Then the NCAA tournament happened and everything changed.
Yeah. It happened, and so did he. For the whole country to see. Nicely run play inside for Claycomb.
Yeah, they scissor cut off any post entry, and they look to kind of get over the top. That time wasn't even a scissor. It just was a cut and pressure release. You turn your head and you watch the ball. They're going to be moving.
I mentioned that the Bellarmine coach, Scott Davenport, and UCLA's Mick Cronin have quite a history, those two. They spent time together on Rick Pitino's staff at Louisville, 2001 through 2003. Among a number of other connections.
Yeah, he told me actually the first time he met Mick Cronin, he was the high school coach at Ballard High School, the varsity coach. Coach Davenport was. And Mick Cronin was the freshman coach at Woodward High School out of Cincinnati. And they met in December of 1988.
Wow. So yes, way back. A floater by Fleming won't drop. And UCLA taking control, trying to go to 5-0. Last season's run to the Final Four. UCLA's 19th trip in the history of the Golden program. We are tied up 6-6, first 5 minutes in, and the Knights are hanging tough with one of the great teams in America.
I'm Alfonso, and there's more to me than HIV. There's my career, my cause, my choir. I'm a work in progress. So much goes into who I am. HIV medicine is one part of it.
Dovato is for some adults who are starting HIV-1 treatment or replacing their current HIV-1 regimen. With just 2 medicines in 1 pill, Dovato is as effective as a 3-drug regimen to help you reach and stay undetectable. Research shows people who take HIV treatment as prescribed and get to and stay undetectable can no longer transmit HIV through sex. Don't take Dovato if you're allergic to its ingredients or if you take Dofetilide. Taking Dovato with Dofetilide can cause serious or life-threatening side effects. Hepatitis B can become harder to treat while on Dovato. Don't stop Dovato without talking to your doctor, as your hepatitis B may worsen or become life-threatening. Serious or life-threatening side effects can occur, including allergic reactions, lactic acid buildup, and liver problems. If you have a rash and other symptoms of an allergic reaction, stop Dovato and get medical help right away. Tell your doctor if you have kidney or liver problems, or if you are, may be, or plan to be pregnant. Dovato may harm your unborn baby. Use effective birth control while on Dovato. Do not breastfeed while taking Dovato. Most common side effects are headache, nausea, diarrhea, trouble sleeping, tiredness, and anxiety.
So much goes into who I am and hope to be. Ask your doctor if treating HIV with Dovato is right for you.
Old Trapper Beefs, last bag.
Back in Las Vegas, college basketball, UCLA and the Bellarmine Knights. ESPN's exclusive presentation of college basketball brought to you by Camping World, America's #1 RV dealer, and Continental Tire. For every surface and every season, Continental Tire has a tire for you. Dave O'Brien and Sean Farnham with you. We're talking about the magnificent run the Bruins made in the NCAA tournament to this close, a buzzer beater against the #1 team in the country to going to the national championship. 17-10 in the regular season.
Yeah, maybe a little bit lackluster. It certainly limped their way in the tournament, losing their last 4 games, including to Oregon State, who also made an Elite 8 run. But second team to go from the first 4 to the Final Four. The way they responded to get there, the 18th Final Four appearance overall for this storied program, and an incredible season. And I was lucky enough to be at the Michigan game and then in the building for the Final Four in that contest against Gonzaga, which we'll see the rematch tomorrow night. But so impressed with how Mick Cronin's team stayed the course and how they just kept getting better. And I think a lot of that has to do actually with a player that we end up not talking about a whole lot for UCLA. That's Tiger Campbell. He is a pass-first point guard that doesn't turn the ball over, knows exactly who he is,
And Clark with the stuff.
That was impressive. And that's, you know what that shows me? Is that shoot around, the Bellarmine kids were listening. Hey, you can't let Johnny Juzang get open. You can't let Johnny Juzang get open. And so they both go to Johnny Juzang. The problem is Johnny Juzang did not have the ball. So you kind of probably want to stay with the guy that has the ball, too. And watch this. Johnny cuts off. Watch both defensive players. Oh, we got to stop Johnny. Whoops.
That's that inner voice of every defender. Whoops.
Either that or you immediately look over at the table and go, is a sub coming in?
Yeah, right. Juzang will zip the pass here. Singleton got bumped. He flung it up there anyway. David Singleton, the 6'4" senior, came in averaging 8 points a game. Mick Cronin told the LA Times during the NCAA tournament, if I could buy stock in his life, I would do it. He is everything I believe in.
Well, do you want to know what he wants to do for a living? What I'm doing right now? He wants to be a broadcaster. And I've actually gotten to know him quite well, and we've been talking about ways to try to integrate in and try to get into this profession. But he has a vision for where he wants to be, not just now, but where he wants to be 10 years from now.
So you're already doing some coaching.
Well, I figure if I coach him up now, I could maybe become his agent, and I'll take 10% of his contract.
It's always a financial component. I don't blame you at all.
It is Vegas.
Yes, you're in the right spot. You are Mr. Vegas. Betts with a heave and well short. As the shot clock expired, UCLA starting to play some defense. Singleton driving the paint, slams on the brakes, kicks out for Clark. The open man is Campbell. Well, you can't deny he had the shot he wanted.
Well, and he knocked down 2 in a row against Villanova in the second half of that contest. It really brought the Bruins back in that game. He's worked very hard on being more consistent from the outside.
Claycomb couldn't hit the shot, but that's that ball movement you were talking about without the dribble. Very clean. And the Knights do it quite well. Marquez off the fake. And it's going to be a traveling violation. So back over to the Knights.
Yeah, Bellarmine is one of those teams. I was talking to Tony Barbee, the head coach of Central Michigan. I said, you might have it harder than anybody here. Why do you say that? I mean, Sean, #1 versus #2 tomorrow night. I said, I realize that. Those guys know each other. They've seen each other. They've played against each other. I said, tonight you're going against #1 Gonzaga, and in less than 24-hour turnaround, you've got to play against Bellarmine's offense. Where you guys are going to be like, wait, there's no screens. We're just chasing people all around the floor. And really, when you start moving, you watch. If you're hugging your guy, you start to lose your principles in the help side. That's when they can start to exploit you with some of those back cuts and pressure releases.
Penn down low. In that lane, nice pass, slithered underneath for 2. Third home to the basket, a 6'8" freshman, but really it was the dish by Penn.
That was a beautiful pass.
So it remains a close one, 10-8. Bernard thought about it. He's been red hot beyond the three-point line. Rebound batted out, and UCLA will retain possession with 12:29 to go here in the first half.
So Dave, let's look at this, though. Back cut. Look at Miles Johnson. Has no idea where his guy is. You have to be able to see the ball and your man. He elevates too high, wants to go double, and what a small window that was, but a beautiful pass.
Quick jump shot, that one up and good by Singleton. Off the inbounds.
The difference in this game right now, Dave, is 2 out-of-bounds executions underneath. The Jalen Clark dunk and then that shot. Those are 2 of the best shots UCLA's gotten.
Green can't hit. Johnson back in with a rebound. A grad transfer from Rutgers. Talk about a smart kid, a degree in electrical engineering out of Rutgers. Bernard straight on. Got a good look. Absolutely drained it. That's a 2-pointer. And a 14-8 lead for the Bruins, the #2 team in the country. And stolen away, UCLA with the theft. It's Peyton Watson, very gifted freshman. Clark, not there for him. On the run, Tipton, can't finish it. Bernard quickly to the other end of the floor for Mick Cronin.
Cronin unhappy with Miles Johnson, asking him literally across the court, what are you doing? Wanted him to come and immediately set that on-ball screen. Wasn't there.
Clark with the shot clock down to 9. Defense continues to be tough for the Knights. And we'll take the break with 11:10 to go first half. No runaway, certainly not yet for UCLA.
You know how sometimes you're just kind of brushing your teeth and then all of a sudden it's on. With Roman, you can take care of erectile dysfunction discreetly. So whenever the moment happens, you're ready. Roman ready.
We're talking about closing. When you see us close, you see us give everything we got. We're not talking about paperwork. We're talking about closing.
Cross Country Mortgage is dedicated to getting it done.
Hey CoverGirls, coming to you fresh-faced from home. Remember that? I was a CoverGirl in 1998, and today I'm a CoverGirl. Thanks to Simply Ageless, America's #1 anti-aging foundation. With the plumping power of hyaluronic acid complex. It's skincare and makeup in one for instant wrinkle reduction and healthy glowing skin. Once a CoverGirl, always a CoverGirl. With Simply Ageless. From easy, breezy, beautiful, CoverGirl.
This Black Friday, get the amazing iPhone 13 Pro on us when you trade in your old or damaged phone.
You break it, we upgrade it, whether you're a current customer or a new one.
And get up to $800 when you switch.
Because everyone deserves better.
Back in Vegas, Sean Farnham's personal playground, 14-8. UCLA on top. Talk about the West Coast drought a little bit, Sean, when it comes to championships. It's going back to 1997 now. Look at everything on the eastern side of the country, middle of the country, nothing west.
There is nothing west of Kansas. I mean, you get to Colorado, and it's barren in the west region of the United States. 97, of course, was the year that Miles Simon and Simon Says championship for the Arizona Wildcats. 95, UCLA won. But since that point in time, there hasn't been anything west, and it's significant this year because you've got #1 and #2 in the country, both from the west region of the United States, both with teams and programs that have National Player of the Year candidates, and Drew Timme off to a great start. Obviously, Johnny Juzang's played really well this year. There's the alley-oop.
Watson back up and in. Boy, they're making a living on that.
That's their third out of bounds underneath that they've been able to score off of. And those are the little things that, by the way, win you games in tight contests. Maybe at the end of the night, this isn't tight. But this has been a good game so far, and they've needed those buckets.
I think surprisingly close. Many observers would tell you. Hope downstairs.
Musburger and I were talking earlier today, and he said the friends in the desert thought, no.
Many of whom you ran into personally on your way to the arena here at T-Mobile.
You're looking live, Dave O'Brien.
Hey, that's not bad, by the way. On target, Singleton's giving a nice lift coming off the bench.
He makes three-point shots. That's what he does. He has the ability to finish above the rim. Had a monster dunk last time out against North Florida. But he really shoots the ball excessively well from beyond the arc.
Talking about a guy who'd be starting in a lot of programs in the Pac-12, right?
I think he'd probably start in 10 programs in the Pac-12. Comes off the bench, knows what his role is, and executes beautifully.
UCLA working on a 19-4 run over the top. Watson! Jaquez with a gorgeous pass. And a spectacular finish to make it 21-8. And here come the Bruins.
Coming out of that last timeout, the Bruins have gone on a little bit of a run. It starts with an out of bounds underneath, and then Jaime Jaquez, look at his awareness. This timing, rip it out, and a get right moment maybe for Peyton Watson, a talented freshman. Mick Cronin told me he's had some of the best practices that he's had all season long. The last couple of days was their best player at practice. A couple of days ago, they said, hey, Peyton, things are going to come together, and when they do, it's going to be a beautiful thing, not only for you, but for this program. But this young man came in with the world of expectations on him, a potential lottery pick next year. Peyton Watson, a couple of buckets here now, and we'll see if that allows him to kind of gain his confidence, because, quite frankly, they need Peyton Watson to perform well tomorrow night against Gonzaga.
And you said, before the game we were talking about him, He needs to settle in a little bit, settle down, find his game.
It's like working with you. The level of excitement that I have, Like, I want to come out, I just want to explode with every ounce of information that I have.
You're exactly right, Sean. It's the exact same thing.
And it's like pacing. So, yeah, no, he's just got to slow down. He's used to being the guy that never came off the floor ever, right? And now you're on a team that's loaded with great wing players, and you're trying to fight and find your minutes out on the floor.
Nice on a pass to Freem, and he finishes.
The journey and the arc and the trajectory sometimes isn't a direct straight line like everybody wants it to be. In this day and age of instant gratification and, social media and look at me, this is what I just did. Sometimes it's not that quick. And sometimes you have to stop for a second and breathe. And I think that's where we're at right now with Peyton Watson. Breathe. Fans breathe. He should breathe. His family should breathe. Everybody just relax and trust the process. Because at the end of the day, I really believe this young man's going to be exactly where everybody wants him to be.
Miles Johnson at the line, 6'10" senior out of Long Beach. What do you have, 10 native Californians on the UCLA roster?
Well, and that's the key. I mean, when you live and coach in the recruiting pool that is Southern California, you really don't have to go a lot, travel too far to find players that are good enough to play.
Bruins win it back. Again, the great vision. Watson with the stuff. Jaime again with a terrific pass. If you're open, he's going to find you.
He's just a great basketball player. He just is a great basketball player. He understands exactly how to play the game the right way.
Betts on the attack. Kick back out for Fleming, who's been an outstanding three-point man. In fact, number 6 in the school's history. That one came off the hand a bit ugly. 23-10. And a collision and a foul with 8:48 to go. Here in the first half, back to that outstanding pass and the slam.
Well, it's this rebounding situation. Defense. Everybody runs away. Poor awareness. Nobody around Peyton Watson. But Jaime Jaquez doesn't give him time to recover. I mean, his head is up. He has awareness and understanding of where his teammates are. And Peyton Watson benefits.
Jaime had 21 points against Villanova. That victory on November 12. Fight for the rebound. Back to Bellarmine it goes. And he is just a nightmare of a matchup, isn't he?
And again, on a team that last year didn't have a lot of physical nature, and obviously Miles Johnson helps defensively with that. Jaime Jaquez was the guy that in the NCAA tournament, while Johnny Juzang was scoring the points and getting all the love, and deservedly so, but Jaime Jaquez was the one that kind of had that grinder kind of mentality. And when you look at the head coach of UCLA and Mick Cronin, if you don't grind, if you don't get after it,
you don't play.
You don't play. And so what happens is you find one person that has that connection point, and that was Jaime Jaquez. And then all of a sudden, you pick up a Tiger Campbell and say, oh, you got to compete a little bit now. Okay, cool. Now you got 2. Now it turns into 3. And then that's how it starts to expand out and engulf a roster and allow you to find the success that this program has.
Jaquez, another one off into the corner. They'll swing it back up top for Clark. Here's Watson. Slammed on the break, 7 to shoot. Not going to wait around. That one off the back of the iron. Juzang with a miss. Dylan Penn. Here's Claycomb. Nice fake. Another big rebound by UCLA. When the Bruins take on Gonzaga on Tuesday night, they'll be shooting for their 8th victory over a top 5 team going back to 2015-16. Shooting like that is going to help their cause.
Yeah, Peyton Watson, his first three-pointer of his collegiate career. Big time to see him knock that shot down and go 4 for 4 from the field in the early stages of this game. This could be the game that really, score is fine. You're up 16 points. You're feeling confident right now if you're a Bruin fan. But what you've got to be most pleased about is this the moment where Peyton Watson starts to understand, hey, guess what? I'm really talented, and I can do it here as well.
Camping World is here to fuel your outdoor adventures. From the hottest outdoor gear and equipment to just released brand new RVs, we have everything you need to kick off your outdoor adventure at our over 185 locations nationwide. Right now, you can drive away in a new RV for as little as $5 a day and save up to 40% off any outdoor gear. Head into your local Camping World or visit us online at campingworld.com today.
Fresh flavors, classic dishes, and a new seat at the table.
They're out there. Words yet to be written. Stories yet to be told. But here's the thing with ideas. To find them, you have to move. That's why we're building a new generation of electrified vehicles, all designed to inspire something in you.
We're talking about closing. When you see us close, you see us give everything we got. We're not talking about paperwork. We're talking about closing.
Cross Country Mortgage is dedicated to getting it done.
I told you I was going to win. With Windows 11, gaming performs to another level. Let's go! And when it comes to streaming movies, we haven't really experienced any buffering. It's so cool that we'll have access to movie theater level quality pretty much anywhere.
Seeing it load up that quick, I was genuinely surprised.
I can't believe there's no lag. I didn't realize how bad you were until I got these really good graphics.
Number 1, Gonzaga. Timmy. Wow.
Crazy. They're hungry to be stars.
Moore on the attack and slams it down.
When the lights go out, my light will only shine brighter.
Well, I just wish Gonzaga would schedule somebody once in a while, huh?
I know. Mark Few, he's always looking for cupcakes in the non-conference.
22 straight NCAA tournaments for the Zags. Just amazing. Sweet 16 each in the last 6 years. They've averaged over 30 wins a year for 5 seasons. Twice a runner-up. Is this their year? They are number 1, UCLA number 2.
I think it's going to depend on the maturation of their freshmen, because unlike a lot of these other programs that we're talking about at the top, the Kansas, the UCLAs of the world, that have a ton of seniors and veterans on their roster, guys that have gone through it, Mark Few's team is actually, yeah, they got a nice mixture of guys, but they need a couple of freshmen to step up. Chet Holmgren, one of them.
Penn in the lane, another nice give. UCLA collapses, though, defensively right on top of him. Loose ball and a foul. That was with 2 on the shot clock. 7:13 to go in a half.
I talked to Paul Biancardi, who does such a tremendous job for us at ESPN on the recruiting front, and he was talking about these guys that they brought in, and all of them ranked to the top 100 of the ESPN 100. Chet Holmgren, only the second recruit since they started this to not go to a Power 5 conference team as the number 1 recruit. And the other kid was James Wiseman, who went to Memphis. But obviously they nicknamed him the Unicorn. You'll see him later on tonight here on this court. You'll see him tomorrow night in the game against UCLA. He's extremely talented, and while in the Texas game he only had 2 points in that contest, how about this nugget that I saw? Texas shot 33% of their shots inside the paint when Chet Holmgren was on the bench. Only 15% of the shots for the Longhorns came when he was out on the floor inside the paint. So while he didn't score, he's impacting the way teams are attacking Gonzaga. Very interesting to see how he grows throughout the course of the year, running alongside National Player of the Year candidate and Drew Timme.
Gonzaga with a double dribble. UCLA up 26-10. The Bellarmine Knights 0-4 coming into this clash. Penn on the baseline, got it up there. Won't go. Rebound by Clark in transition. Watson's been terrific early on with 9 points. He's a 6'8" guard.
Yeah, he really is. And in fact, at some of the workouts that I went to watch this team practice, he said, Mick Cronin said, look, there might be times where Peyton Watson ends up playing point guard for us later on this season. They're trying to develop that skill set so that they can give a break to Tiger Campbell, because Tiger Campbell's out on the floor almost all the time, every game. So Peyton Watson's one of those guys that they can look at to maybe have that ability to be comfortable with the ball. And the reason why I think Mick Cronin just took out Peyton Watson was the turnovers on Johnny Juzang. And you sit there, well, Johnny Juzang's got to be better, and Johnny came out as well. But that ball hit Watson, and it stopped. He didn't just reverse it right away to Jaime Jaquez and then get into the action that you want to see. And against Bellarmine, you gotta flow a little bit, because they will load their defense to the side of the ball.
Penn, their top scorer, gets it off for Fleming. Down the lane. Had to alter that shot. Almost went down, too. Rebound tipped out and back to the Bruins.
In Gucci row, right here in the front row. The guy that caught the ball, by the way, Etope, is the guy that runs the Compton Magic program in Los Angeles, and quite a few of the players here at UCLA played for him with the Compton Magic.
Great seat, too.
Yeah, good seats. Almost better than ours.
Almost.
Not quite.
How wonderful it is to be that close to shots like this. David Singleton will bury that triple. I mean, just to be back with fans again, Sean, is just the best sound in the world. It just is.
When I did the first, I know you did the game at Duke versus Army.
Yes.
I did the BYU Oregon game for the PK Invitational up in Portland, and it felt like Christmas Day as a broadcast.
It really did.
Like I know the fans, like they're happy to be back in the arena, and it's great to see so many Bruins here today. But from our perspective too, like not that I didn't like calling games at home from my son's bedroom, but it kind of feels a little bit more detached than when we're sitting here and we're at shoot-arounds and we're talking to the players. And
plus, it sounds like Dad. Dad.
The dog barking in the background.
A nice touch.
Holly, can you please be quiet? I'm calling a nationally televised game right now.
Marquez with the kick. And Bernard will launch. UCLA is on a 19-2 run as the Knights try and cut into this lead. Fleming, yes, good shot for him. Number 6 all-time in his school's history, made threes. He's closing in on 1,000 career points.
Yeah, he struggled the last 2 games, just 1 of 7 from beyond the arc. But he can really shoot the ball, and they need him to score.
Picks it off here. And they'll set up their offense, which, as you said, sometimes you'll see as many as 11 straight passes and the basketball not hitting the deck.
And look at how patient they are. This could be the 3rd ball reversal they get in this set. There it is. They've reversed the ball 3 times in this shot clock.
Penn to drive it. Got it.
And Penn is the one guy that can really create, and he's the guy that can score. He had 27 against St. Mary's this year.
Do you think St. Mary's is going to be a tournament team?
I do. Randy Bennett's team, he's an outstanding coach. The West Coast Conference could have 3 teams in the NCAA tournament field this year with Gonzaga, BYU, and then St. Mary's.
Campbell on the quick step. Singleton gets himself a good look.
It was just too close.
Too close, I think.
He prefers threes only.
Penn in transition now for the Knights. As you pointed out, as he lines up a long one. Just recently a Division I team. They were a powerhouse for a long time in D2. Won national championships and everything.
Yeah, they won the national championship in 2011 and went to multiple Final Fours at the D2 level after that.
Bernard open. Maybe a little too open, and Fleming for the rebound.
Fleming's all over the place right now.
Play come down the lane, and Bernard with the foul to send him to the line. With 3:22 to go in the half. Game 1 here at the T-Mobile Arena in Las Vegas.
Our journey at Continental has taken us down many roads. And when we first started, they weren't even paved. For more than 150 years, we've worked hard to earn your trust. From the trail to the racetrack and beyond. The Continental mark in all its forms stands for confidence. Confidence you trust. Continental Tire.
Think outside the oven and get thanks grilling with Ace. Get a Traeger grill to make tasty turkey and desserts. This week, take advantage of great deals on Traeger with free assembly and delivery on all grills $3.99 and up.
Ace is the place with the helpful hardware, folks.
There is no one that can measure up to the homeowner like Cross Country Mortgage can. Fixer-uppers? Covered. No down payments? Covered. Loans that you don't even know can be covered? Covered.
Cross Country Mortgage is dedicated to getting it done.
The more we do with our phones, the more network quality and reliability matter. And only Verizon has been the most awarded for network quality 27 times in a row. That means the best experience with calls, texts, and data usage of any major carrier, according to customers. There's only one best network. The only one ranked #1 in reliability 16 times in a row. We are building 5G right.
With Voltaren Arthritis Pain Gel, my husband's got his moves back.
An alternative to pills, Voltaren is a non-steroidal anti-inflammatory gel for powerful arthritis pain relief. Voltaren, the joy of movement.
A loaded UCLA Bruin team, number 2 in the country, in Vegas, leading 29-15 over Bellarmine the Knights. Actually hung pretty tough in this one. UCLA now chosen by the media to win the Pac-12, last NCAA title out of the league was Arizona in 1997.
Yep, and you look at the fact that the conference right now has 3 teams ranked. Arizona moved all the way up to number 17 after being unranked, in large part because of one of those 2 wins against AP top 5 opponents, and that's the win that took place in this building last night. And I'm telling you, we're going to preview the conference at halftime. I'll get further into Washington State. Kyle Smith's team's playing in the NCAA tournament this year. They were preseason picked 8th. I laughed when I saw that.
And they're going.
They're going to go to the NCAA tournament. Great coach. He's got good pieces up there in the Palouse. And I'm excited for the conference because it was such a great run in the NCAA tournament last year. It's the first time that you've left the tournament in recent years where people were talking about the Pac-12. And they've been able to capitalize on that on the recruiting front across the landscape of this conference for coaches. And it shows out with the roster that UCLA has.
Claycomb at the line. Very good foul shooter. Makes it 29-17, and the Knights are on a mini run of 7-0.
And I think really C.J. Fleming has been the catalyst to it. His energy has been infectious. He's been in the right position defensively. He's got a couple of rebounds. He's talking right now.
In the lane. Juzang could not finish, and a whistle right there on the baseline, a foul against the Knights, and that's against C.J. Fleming.
I love it, though. I mean, he's down there scrapping with Miles Johnson. Last year, 65% of his shots were from 3. He's the best 3-point shooter that returns on this team. And what I love about, look at the way he's talking. Do you hear him talking? Like, I hope you can hear that at home. But he's calling out the help side rotations. You need leadership from within. You need players out on the floor that want to talk.
Certainly.
And no surprise, by the way, his father was a coach.
Yeah, those guys are always the best talkers, the best communicators, aren't they?
No, my kid never's quiet.
We've heard. The bounce here for DeWalt into the ball game. He's 6'10", the junior. Shot clock now at 4.
Basketball on that younger team last year. It's a big boy. That's
the 6'3" grab.
Does it all.
2. They're still in it.
Yeah, he had a season best 12 against Gonzaga. He was all academic A-Sun last year.
Great deals on trade.
Shot clock. He is going to try to get paint touches off the bounce. He wasn't necessarily in the paint there, but you get the idea of where he wants to attack.
Juzang will pull up. A little chilly here in the first half. Going to get another opportunity.
Fade away, step back.
To hit that one.
You know what I love about shooters? They just want to shoot. Johnny, I think, could miss 100 shots in a row and it wouldn't matter to him.
It's exactly what
I thought that they really competed.
Supreme confidence. Johnson couldn't handle on the baseline, so Bellarmine will take it.
Yeah, Johnny Juzang is at such another level right now. He's like, oh, I missed the mid-range? Fine, I'll just step out here and yes. Okay, there you go. I got it. I feel good. I'm going to hit my next 7. You know, I mean, that's how he feels when he plays. And you can see it in the way that he carries himself, his body language. His belief is every single time he shoots the ball, it should go in. Every time I shot the ball in college, I'm like, please go in. Please.
Just the hope of the prayer.
Lavin was already sending guys to the table. Get him out. He shot the ball.
Now we are stolen away by Clark.
Dedicated.
Watson was 9 points, handling it. On the cut, Clark. Boy, a tough angle. He made it anyway, twisting and contorting his body.
He is an outstanding athlete.
Down the lane and a quick finish by Freem.
A little bit of a Princeton cut. You talked about that before the game. You said, does this offense have a little Princeton feel to it? It does. And those are the moments where, again, you ball watch and you turn and look. They're back cutting you.
10 was a swing it around here.
Marquez on the spin. Watson on the baseline. Kicks for Clark. And the Knights come away with it. 34-21. Last minute of play in the first half.
When you open a savings builder account,
suffocating by the Bruins. A tie up here.
It's going to be a tough night for him tonight, guys. Uniquely,
Game number Number one of our Good Sam Empire Classic.
Handout
of Feast Week.
Turnovers
Presented by Lowe's here on our ESPN family of networks.
And timeout is hit. Just the permanent home of Feast Week. I mean, it is this year because, you know, look, there's things that are in play that doesn't allow the Maui Invitational to be in Maui, so it's here. This event's here. You had the main event last night. That was a sensational event, well-run event. Sure. You've got the game coming up this Friday.
Scores. Just make Georgia Tech backcourt.
You like college basketball? Just go. It's become that way in Champ Week with the Mountain West tournament, the Pac-12 tournament, the WCC.
But somehow Holt made the basket,
24 points.
even though it was double blocked by UCLA.
I think it's the first time I've ever seen a ball get blocked into being a basket.
Into the hoop. Jaquez on the drive, a little turnaround. Tried to use the window. Johnson grabbed the rebound.
Coming in close to the officials tonight. Jeffrey Clark, Brian.
With 21.2 shots.
It's an example. They're leading the score.
UCLA's 4-0. Bellarmine is 0.
You're leading one of the.
They don't know basketball. They don't know this Bellarmine team. They don't know how hard this team competes. Wait till this team gets to conference play. Because of these games in which they're playing right now against UCLA, Purdue, and Gonzaga, and St. Mary's, and all that, they are so well battle-tested. They're
6, and Hopkins had
played one of the toughest schedules in America.
50%.
Certainly to this point.
On the season, he is 3. For
Rebound tipped. Single
timeout.
Nice look. And Johnny will
Sorello right after this.
That's just great awareness by David Singleton. Good back cut by Johnny Juzang, but he got that rebound. He knew where everybody was.
Fleming gets the shot up there and hits it.
Dave,
as time runs out here in the first half, and the Bellarmine Knights with no quit.
But Hawk with
very well coached.
They played like
they did. In execution, late shot clock. CJ Fleming, you're my guy, man. I'm a fan. He talks, he competes, he scraps. He finds a way to score, and it's an 11-point lead for UCLA at the break.
7th season.
36-25.
Can't believe it.
After one half. UCLA with a couple of long runs, but the Knights.
When you're not getting a lot of looks, he only attempted 4 shots in the first half. So, college players, high school players, young players that are watching this, listen, there's going to be nights you don't shoot the ball well. There's going to be nights you don't get a lot of shots. Do you still help your team win? And that's what Jaime Jaquez does night in and night out.
He sure does. Right away, feeding Watson in close. Tapped out by the Knights. Underway here in the second half.
And Johnny Juzang not starting here in the second half and putting on sweatpants right now on the bench. Looks like plenty of playing time for some other players. Jules Bernard also not starting here.
Watson goes up high, and it hangs on the iron and drops in.
Listen, there's no secret. This is a 2-night show for UCLA. And tomorrow night will be maybe the marquee game of the college basketball season. It has that potential.
Could be.
Based on what we saw at the Final Four.
Number 1 in the land, Gonzaga, and number 2, UCLA. Right on this floor tomorrow night.
I can't wait. Dick Vitale back.
Going to be an emotional night, I know, for Richard. Marquez down the lane, nice to that right hand to lay it up and in.
As I say to everybody, man, having Dick Vitale back and on the call of that game tomorrow night is going to be awesome with a capital A.
You and I will be on hand as well. And Dickie be making his return to the microphone. Timeout. 40-25, UCLA starting to open things up very early in the second half.
Think outside the oven and get thanks grilling with Ace. Get a Traeger grill to make tasty turkey and desserts. This week, take advantage of great deals on Traeger with free assembly and delivery on all grills $3.99 and up.
Ace is the place with the helpful hardware, folks.
Finding your new favorite spot. Piece of, no, you really have to try this cake.
Wow.
Get exclusive access to sought-after restaurants. One of the many reasons you're with Amex Platinum.
The more we do with our phones, the more network quality and reliability matter. And only Verizon has been the most awarded for network quality 27 times in a row. That means the best experience with calls, texts, and data usage of any major carrier, according to customers. There's only one best network. The only one ranked #1 in reliability 16 times in a row. We are building 5G right.
Meet the Ninja Foodie family. With pressure cookers that steam crisp, ovens that sear, and flip up and away. Grills and griddles that bring outdoor flavors indoors. Blenders that put a spin on healthy eating. Knife systems that stay sharp. Cookware that won't stick. And air fryers that bring the crisp. Ninja Foodie. Be proud of what you make.
What I want, you got it, it might be hard to handle. And I can't explain. Oh yeah.
New gifts arriving at a store near you for way less than you expect at TJ Maxx, Marshalls, and HomeGoods.
Well, you're talking about one of the great shots in the history of college basketball, Jalen Suggs. At the buzzer to break the hearts of the UCLA Bruins in the national semifinal. Just incredible. And you were in the arena.
Yep. Well, it was just amazing to see that sense and that feeling of the first time feeling a crowd and an energy. You know, we missed so much of that last year. And it got so quiet as that shot went up. And then it was like the gasp and then the elation and the exhale on the other side. And sitting there inside that building at Lucas Oil Field, it was just one of those moments where you're like, okay, well, maybe we're going to come out on the other side of this pandemic thing and we're going to be okay.
Johnson doubled up, kicks it out. Here's Campbell for three. Tip man, a rare miss underneath by Watson, and a whistle at 18:42 to go.
I think one of the things Mick Cronin would like to see here in the second half is to get Miles Johnson going a little bit offensively. You know, he's such an elite level defensive player, where he was Big Ten defensive first team conference last year, led the Big Ten in block shots at Rutgers, and really wasn't asked to be much of an offensive weapon. And without Cody Riley, and it's important to note that Cody Riley is not playing for UCLA right now, they lose it big that they could really play through. I mean, Cody's a good passer, he can score, he can put the ball down on the ground, and now you're asking Miles Johnson to kind of fulfill that role when over the course of his college career he hasn't been asked to be an offensive weapon.
Johnson makes the second. Yeah, Cody Riley, 14 points, 10 rebounds in that Final Four loss to Gonzaga.
Yeah, had a huge game against Michigan. It was vital in the success that the Bruins had in that contest. And without him right now, they're having to play a little bit different.
Penn took a tumble, turned it over. Campbell, here's Watson in the lane, finishing that.
What I loved is how he slowed down before he elevated to take that shot.
Man, can he elevate too. Campbell on the attack, banks it in. Strong move by the point guard. And now it's getting away in UCLA's favor, 45-25.
Yeah, this is kind of what we expected, right? I mean, this was much more of what we thought we would see out of UCLA.
Yeah, Bruins on a 9-0 run, putting the hammer down now. Hope up top to Dylan Penn. Penn with a move there, draws the foul before the shot, so no basket. Penn's a guy who could play for a lot of different programs. He's 6'3", the senior from Evansville, Indiana.
Look at Tiger Campbell absorb the contact. He's such in control of his body and his game, understanding how he needs to play to be successful.
Penn with a bounce feed on the baseline, tied up. Fleming will swing it. Penn with a shot clock down to 7, working that cut again, and tipped up and in by Hope.
That back cut draws the defense, turns the head, watch the shot go up, and then creates an opportunity, maybe get an offensive rebound, even if you're not as athletic or as long as your opponents.
You mentioned that Johnny Juzang's been on the bench now, and put on the sweats. And looks like he may very well take the rest of this night off. UCLA pouring it on nonetheless. He's been a little bit under the weather.
A little sinus issue. I joked with him when I saw him earlier today. I said, I've been dealing with a sinus issue seemingly since media day. That was in October.
Yeah, those can hang in there, man. Oh, pounding that one into the paint. With that left hand, it won't fall. Watson comes away. Tiger Campbell came in averaging 13 points, 5 assists a game. Miles Johnson. They move it beautifully, and Watson will stick it again.
Yeah, great quick ball reversal. And Peyton Watson, this is going to bring a smile to every Bruin fan's face. 15 points for the talented freshman.
McDonald's All-American out of Long Beach, California.
He's number 12 in the ESPN 100.
Fleming will be at the line to shoot 2. And we'll take the timeout. 49-27. The Bruins getting it rolling.
Think outside the oven and get thanks grilling with Ace. Get a Traeger grill to make tasty turkey and desserts. This week, take advantage of great deals on Traeger with free assembly and delivery on all grills $3.99 and up.
Ace is the place with the helpful hardware, folks.
I'm Alfonso, and there's more to me than HIV. There's my career, my cause, my choir. I'm a work in progress. So much goes into who I am. HIV medicine is one part of it.
Dovato is for some adults who are starting HIV-1 treatment or replacing their current HIV-1 regimen. With just 2 medicines in 1 pill, Dovato is as effective as a 3-drug regimen to help you reach and stay undetectable. Research shows people who take HIV treatment as prescribed and get to and stay undetectable can no longer transmit HIV through sex. Don't take Dovato if you're allergic to its ingredients or if you take dofetilide. Taking Dovato with dofetilide can cause serious or life-threatening side effects. Hepatitis B can become harder to treat while on Dovato. Don't stop Dovato without talking to your doctor, as your hepatitis B may worsen or become life-threatening. Serious or life-threatening side effects can occur, including allergic reactions, lactic acid buildup, and liver problems. If you have a rash and other symptoms of an allergic reaction, stop Dovato and get medical help right away. Tell your doctor if you have kidney or liver problems, or if you are, may be, or plan to be pregnant. Dovato may harm your unborn baby. Use effective birth control while on Dovato. Do not breastfeed while taking Dovato. Most common side effects are headache, nausea, diarrhea, trouble sleeping, tiredness, and anxiety.
So much goes into who I am and hope to be. Ask your doctor if treating HIV with Dovato is right for you.
No annual fee on any Discover card.
Welcome back to Las Vegas and the T-Mobile Arena, the Good Sam Empire Classic. The Maui Invitational just blocks away. This really is the center of the college basketball universe. Okay, let's go inside to play, driven by Continental Tire.
If we had the telestrator thing, I would literally show you the arrows of how beautiful the passing is here. But I think you can get the gist of it. Double team comes. When the double team comes, the defense has to start chasing once you pass it out. No dribbles. 1, 2, 3. That third pass is where you find the short corner. Excellent job by Peyton Watson, keeping his shoulders parallel to the baseline so that on the catch, it's a turn and straight up elevate and finish.
You've mentioned this a couple of times tonight. Smiles with Bruin Nation. UCLA fans have to be absolutely delighted by the fact that he is blossoming right in front of your eyes. Now, they'd love to see him do it against something like this against the #1 team in the country tomorrow night.
Well, they'll have the opportunity to see if he can do that because we're going to see that game actually take place. Listen, sometimes as a player, like, it's just the belief, right? Like Jerry West said, if you don't have confidence in the game of basketball, you have nothing. I mean, the confidence aspect is your game. And sometimes as a freshman, when you've had as much success and you're a top 12 recruit nationally and everybody wants you, the anticipation is you're going to come in and you're going to dominate. Well, you're on a senior-laden or experience-laden group of players. It's a lot more difficult to get that done.
Singleton will stick it. He came into the game hitting 60% of his threes.
He's 3 for 3 tonight.
Injured player down. It is Justin Betts, the grad out of New Albany, Indiana. They have a lot of Indiana players. You may have heard that Indiana is talent rich.
Is it?
A little bit.
And they're going to look at this. Yep. I didn't see the contact. I was too busy making sure that David Singleton hadn't missed a shot from beyond the arc. Well, the elbow got up high there. I would not be surprised if they call that a flagrant. I mean, he's trying to chug him, and as he turns, his elbow got high and made contact to the face. I would anticipate that this is going to be upgraded to a flagrant. But nothing, I don't think there was intent to actually have that contact.
Scott Davenport is Bellarmine Knights in year 2 as a Division I program. They play in the ASUN Conference along with schools like Liberty and Lipscomb and Florida Gulf Coast. Take another look. And from that angle, as you said, it's just an arm winding up with, you know, contact and knock the player down eventually. But I mean, look at his reaction right there. It's like, well, sorry I did that. Sorry I did that.
Sorry is one thing, but it doesn't mean that it's not it won't be rolled a flagrant foul.
Will not.
Like, you can be sorry for something and still be flagrant.
Oh, there's a lot of things I'm sorry for, but they count anyway.
Listen, working with me is not something you should be sorry about. I'm thankful for that.
It's one of the joys in life.
Yeah, okay. Just making sure.
52-29, UCLA, play under review.
Like, if I was apologizing to people, I'd apologize to, like, Mark Dellins, who was the sports information director when I was at UCLA. He had to deal with me for 4 years. Like, I'm sorry, Mark, if you're watching.
I'm just going to call that a common foul.
Sure.
Common foul. So nothing flagrant.
David Singleton goes over, make sure it's okay. I mean, that's just who David Singleton is.
15:38 to go. And another tangle up right there near the bench and knocked out of bounds. And Bellarmine will retain possession with a tough angle down there deep in the corner. And Alec Freem to put it in for the Knights. Knights a very good shooting team a year ago. Haven't shot that well this season given the competition they've encountered so far, including tonight. But they were 3rd in the country in shooting percentage, 51%.
I think a lot of that has to do with the level of competition which they're playing. But when you watch C.J. Fleming dial it up from the outside, you start going, okay. You see how in the ASUN, this is a team that surprised a lot of people a year ago with their finish in the conference, their first time being in the Division I level. And it would not surprise me if they make some noise again this year. I think Liberty is widely seen as the team to beat still in the ASUN this year, although they also announced that they're going to be headed towards CUSA alongside New Mexico State, Jacksonville State, and Sam Houston State. But Liberty is a really good team. They lost a tough one to Iona the other night.
Foul here will go against the Knights. And they'll get Kurt Hope, the freshman from Montgomery, Indiana, for his second personal. Good rebounding freshman. Had 19 rebounds in the state championship game for Bar Reeve High School before coming to the Knights. Out of the corner, it won't drop for Jaquez. Back to Singleton. They'll try it again. He's been a hot hand. Watson up this time. Johnson just tears down a rebound. Campbell from the corner. Going to get another shot at it as Johnson kept it alive. Singleton finishes. Swooping down the lane.
Miles Johnson should get more than just 2 offensive rebounds on that. I mean, he was working hard, finding guys.
6. Exactly right. Penn with a scoop and a block and a foul. UCLA about to make wholesale substitutions. Johnny Juzang about to return to the game.
A little change up in the lineup at halftime. Johnny Juzang took off the sweats. He's now coming back into the game.
Let's go back to that terrific play moments ago by Singleton.
Well, how about the great play by Miles Johnson? I mean, yeah, it's fine. Singleton drives the lane, almost loses control of the ball, but then makes the layup. It's a nifty layup. I thought he was going to try to go for the dunk. He had one earlier this year where he came down the middle of the lane and just finished it with authority.
I think there was a millisecond there. He was definitely thinking about it.
And then I think that he thought, I might have left a little too early for that.
My takeoff might have been just a little early. 14:03 to go. And UCLA 54-32 on the Knights. And sending Dylan Penn to the line. Makes 73% there. So Mick Cronin will bring in a whole new unit here in just a moment. He's got 4 guys coming in. Including Kenneth Nuba, the 6'10 junior from Nigeria.
I love his work rate, his attitude. It's one of those guys that practice that you end up your eyes gravitate to out on the court because he plays with such a joy.
Bernard lines one up, can't stick it.
Who gets the rebound? CJ Fleming.
Talk about work rate.
Yeah. I mentioned his dad was a coach. His dad Dan is in the building tonight. He coached at LaSalle High School. You know who played at LaSalle?
Well, Mick Cronin played there.
Yeah, his dad coached him.
He coached Mick Cronin.
Yeah.
How about that? Those connections.
They run deep between these two.
Just a bit.
This was the first shoot around I've ever been to, by the way, and the teams came off the court, and Bellarmine shot first, and then UCLA came in to shoot. It was odd to see the coaches hang out and talk as UCLA starting their practice. They talked for like the first 10 minutes of an hour practice.
Yeah. Coaches love to talk. They'll do it all day long. If the topic is basketball, nice job there by Nuba to adjust his shot, play it in. He had taken only 4 shots. Now he's taken 5. He's made them all. Penn to the other side of the iron, but no. Tough sledding in that lane against UCLA. Leading it 56-36. Johnny a little long with that. He has been, should say Bernard with the shot, a little bit chilly. 12:29 to go.
What a pass. Juzang again driving in traffic, drawing 2 to you, then able to finish. The unselfishness of UCLA is one of the things that makes them such an elite level team in the early stages of the season. You mentioned where they had 13 assists on 15 made field goals in the first half.
They did.
I mean, they continue to find their teammates. They continue to try to make the extra pass.
12:29 left in this contest. Game 2 will be Central Michigan against the #1 team in the country, Gonzaga, right on this floor. Gonzaga taking on top 5 Duke on Friday on ESPN right here at T-Mobile. So Gonzaga with a residency in Vegas. Here's Singleton. In and out. Rebound tapped and controlled by the Knights, and a whistle and a foul.
How about residencies? Some really good acts here in Vegas. Bruno Mars is on a residency.
Yeah.
Lady Gaga's been on a residency. Carrie Underwood is starting
Coming,
on a
I think,
residency.
December 1st, I saw that.
I don't know if Celine Dion is still on residency. Actually, she paused hers, I think, because she had a condition that forced her to pause her residency.
You're right about Vegas, that it's not all about gambling.
No.
There are a lot of great shows and terrific restaurants here.
Oh, the restaurants are unbelievable. Have you checked out the wine list at some of the places?
I might have. Laid up and in by Penn. I don't know what the rumor is, but I may have. Great places to dine in Vegas. Used to not be the case here.
No, you can make Vegas what you want now.
Yeah. Right now it's about a lot of good basketball in about a, 3 or 4 block radius. Juzang with a tough shot there and a miss. It's not been his night, but UCLA is rolling nonetheless. Penn on the dribble. A handoff down the lane and a block from behind. Good defense by Jalen Clark and good defense by the Knights as well, as it's slapped away by Garrett Tipton.
Speaking of the Knights, the Golden Knights play here in this building. It's always great to be in Vegas. You're right. Fabulous Las Vegas, Nevada for Thanksgiving. Where else would you want to be?
Think outside the oven and get thanks grilling with Ace. Get a Traeger grill to make tasty turkey and desserts. This week, take advantage of great deals on Traeger with free assembly and delivery on all grills $3.99 and up.
Ace is the place with the helpful hardware, folks.
Cases of anxiety in young adults are rising as experts warn of the effects on well-being caused by the pandemic.
Baby got back.
Unlimited cashback match. Only from Discover.
It's Walmart's Black Friday deals for days. Get $87 Chromebooks and score other huge deals this Friday in store. Shop Walmart's Black Friday deals for days.
With Voltaren Arthritis Pain Gel, my husband's got his moves back.
An alternative to pills, Voltaren is a non-steroidal anti-inflammatory gel for powerful arthritis pain relief. Voltaren, the joy of movement.
Here we are again. What's for dinner? Oh, hello, friend. Time to make some magic. Now we're talking. Toss this in. That smells good. Now that's magic. Do you believe in magic?
This may sound mad, but the Zags might be bluer than the Blue Bloods. Two great teams.
Gonzaga and Duke.
Two diaper dandies. Experience Gonzaga Duke Friday at 10:30 on ESPN.
A blockbuster indeed coming up on Friday right on this court. The Zags #1, UCLA #2. Duke is #5 in the latest AP poll.
That's absolutely insane when you look at the schedule that Mark Few has had. Texas at #8. They'll have #2 and #5 this week. I think it's the first time in NCAA that we've had the #1 team in the country play two top 5 opponents in the same week of the non-conference. I mean, just tremendous scheduling, and it's great for the sport. And I talked to Mick Cronin about this, and Mick says, we have to have more of these games. We're competing now against the G League, overtime, the Australian and New Zealand professional leagues. With NIL, we have the opportunity for kids to use the brands and the platforms that they're awarded at the college level. We need to reward them by playing the biggest games they possibly can.
Watson with another sweet shot.
And a flop warning.
Yeah. After he made it, 58-38. With Peyton Watson, the freshman, on fire.
It's just a good cut. He goes and elevates up. I don't know if that's a flop. I just don't think it's a foul or anything, but that's fine.
John, I think it's a terrific point about college basketball. You know, when you have the opportunity to kind of seize that stage and schedule great games, like we're going to see tomorrow night between 1 and 2, and Gonzaga again against #5 Duke on Friday on ESPN, it just feeds the sport.
Well, it feeds the sport. It creates interest, and it rewards the students more than anything. Like that home environment for Villanova UCLA a couple of Fridays ago, the best environment I've seen in Pauley in a long time, and the students brought it. When you go to Gonzaga and the Kennel Club up there, it's spectacular.
Yes.
And so
can't hear yourself think.
No, and that's what we need more and more of. These neutral site games are great. Home and homes are even better, because what they do is they generate those unique and electric environments that we see in college football all the time. when it's a whiteout in Happy Valley and Penn State is going insane in 9 overtimes. I mean, that's electric. You have to watch. When you're calling the Boston College Wake Forest game this Saturday.
And you're going to be there.
I will be there. John Tessitore, senior day. Son of Joe Tessitore.
Shot clock down to 5. On the heave, it'll go. Ethan Claycomb, the 6'7" graduate. Desperation shot.
Yeah, that was just a gotta-go moment, right?
Nuba on the back down.
Oh, no.
And an offensive foul.
That's a flop. That's a flop. I was in studio last week with Chris Spatola, and I promised him that I would call out this. Watch it. He's falling back already. That's just that. Come on. What are you supposed to do as an offensive player here? Watch this. First of all, the hand was on his back. You can't put a hand on the guy's back as he's posted up. So that's a foul. That's the first foul, if you want to call it. But that's a flop.
So Kenneth Nuba to the bench.
I'm going to call out all flops. I don't like the flop, and we have too much of it in the college game.
I hear you.
Coaches are teaching the flop now, and they've strategically figured out, okay, how do we get calls on these charges? It's easy. They're basically taking away the back to the basket game.
Penn hits. And moments ago, his around the back pass to keep that possession alive on the baseline was outstanding. UCLA up on top 58-43. Under 9 minutes to go here. Game number 1 of 2 on this floor tonight. Marquez gave it up. Campbell around and out. Bellarmine Knights trying to push the tempo a little bit. Not necessarily their game. Well, Claycomb will try it again. Didn't get the same break as he did moments ago. A scramble for it. And a tie-up. Possession arrow will keep it on this end of the floor. With 8:35 to go. Scott Davenport's Knights expected to finish in the middle of the pack in the ASUN Conference.
I would expect better.
Based on tonight, you know, you look at the score right now, but against a team of this caliber to be able to hang in the way they did, I think you're onto something there.
They do a pretty good job limiting their turnovers as well overall. I mean, some of these games early it's been tough because of who they've played.
Penn spins around. Yes, he wanted a foul too.
He should have got one. But if he got one, it would have been on the floor.
Bellarmine on a 7-0 run and a reach-in foul, and they'll get Claycomb for that.
And Dylan Penn does such a good job. He really is a post-up guard. Watch the way he does this consistently. He'll spin, he uses his footwork, tries to make the defensive player shift their body weight. And if he can get you leaning one way, he's going to go the opposite direction.
Marquez, shot clock down to 11. Gives it up for Watson, and an offensive foul. Got him for the charge.
UCLA has gotten a little stagnant. And sometimes when you have a big lead, you get comfortable. If there's one thing I'm going to tell you this, Bellarmine's not going to stop playing. They're not going to stop scrapping. They're not going to try to stop, and just go, oh, well, we're going to lose this game. They see this as an opportunity to get better every possession. Game's getting interesting.
Think outside the oven and get thanks grilling with Ace. Get a Traeger grill to make tasty turkey and desserts. This week, take advantage of great deals on Traeger with free assembly and delivery on all grills $3.99 and up.
Ace is the place with the helpful hardware, folks.
Fresh flavors, classic dishes, and a new seat at the table.
Impressive handful you got there. How many you think you got?
Let me count real quick. 1 goldfish, 2 goldfish, 3 goldfish, 4 goldfish, 5 goldfish.
I'm gonna let you count your goldfish.
Go for the handful.
Wasn't me.
You're never responsible for unauthorized purchases on your Discover card.
Did you see the one with Mystery Apartment Girls?
She feels a breeze
coming from behind the medicine cabinet,
so she looks behind it, and guess what she found? A hole.
How big was the hole?
Did she go in?
She squeezed her way through.
What does she find on the other side?
A totally abandoned
apartment, which is bigger than our apartment.
This is freaking me out, Tony!
No hidden apartment. Let's try the next room. And you know what? I'll stop talking now, but you just have to see it.
Here we go. Halfway through the NFL's biggest season ever. Take two.
Thanksgiving Showdown. Rangers Bruins on ABC and ESPN Plus Friday.
We welcome you back to Las Vegas and the Good Sam Empire Classic from T-Mobile Arena. Great to have you with us. And tomorrow night, number 1 against number 2, Gonzaga and UCLA. Sean and I will be on hand for that Final Four rematch and the return of Dick Vitale. Dickie V will be here in Vegas for the last game of this event. UCLA, Vic Cronin's team against number 1 Gonzaga. Should be a dandy of a matchup. It'll be great to see Dickie V again. I'm sure it'll be a very emotional return for the Hall of Famer. Well, Knights making a game of this thing. Penn out to get it. Shot clock now at 15 as he drives it on Watson. And blocked out of the sky by Johnson.
Miles Johnson has made his impact on this game, albeit with just 3 points. He has 8 offensive rebounds, 10 total rebounds. He now has 3 block shots. He just, again, little things that are winning basketball plays.
Jaquez, shot clock to 9. Duzang gives it up for Watson. Watson, yes! He's got a pretty shot.
He does, and he has a very high release on that shot when he gets into the lane. Makes it difficult for anyone to block.
He's been the offensive star for UCLA tonight.
How about 40 points off the bench for UCLA? 40. That's one of the things about this team is just how deep they are.
Jaquez, nice move there, spinning inside for 2, and a timeout by the Knights. UCLA finding that additional gear whenever they need it.
It was a 7-0 run going into the previous timeout for Bellarmine. It comes out, defensive possession. Miles Johnson erased any opportunity for Penn to get that one even up on the iron. And then watch Watson's release on this shot. Look how high that is. There's no way anybody's going to block that shot. And then Jaime Jaquez feels the defensive player, spins off of him, able to finish underneath. UCLA has a great starting 5. There's teams in college basketball have a starting 5. Like Villanova
presented
has
by
a really good
and had Wyoming. Now we see their
UCLA,
most notable game, a double painting over. It
couldn't
come as any surprise
to develop.
Is
really good.
He got the turnover. Mike Young called it leading all scorers.
Again, 40 points off the bench out of the 62. Singleton and Watson have been
away
the
with
offensive stars in this game.
Put it up. He's good.
Now Watson with 19.
Advanced
9 of 12
half-court
shooting.
offense.
Singleton with 13,
Remarkable
5 of
turnaround.
8.
And you saw John Menor. It's on the court, so he's turned it. Johnny Davis and Brad Davis.
We talked about the Pac-12 at halftime, and it's really good for the conference that Arizona is off to the start that they are off to, and that UCLA is ranked where they are. Because it's kind of like football, right? Like, for the ACC to be seen as a really great football conference, Clemson has held that mantle for the last couple of years. But you'd like to see Miami or Florida State step back
Butler
up.
in. They do add Gross.
They're the historic brands that people are accustomed to.
And Gross is
In the
fouled.
basketball world of the Pac-12,
He's on the Bulldogs.
UCLA and Arizona atop the conference. So when they're not great, all of a sudden people start panicking and going, well, the conference must not be that good. maybe not giving
Feast
enough
Week
credit to
presented.
teams like Oregon and Dana
Still
Altman and what he's been
junior.
able to build over the years. But now with UCLA and Arizona both playing well at the early course of the season,
have to be stronger
being
with the
ranked
ball.
where they are, I think it's going to pull up the rest of the conference and make this a really strong year.
Cougars heads to the Badgers tomorrow.
Saving against Michigan.
They dominated that game. Christian Coloco just going to be a problem in the inside for a lot of teams in college basketball this year.
Annual Hall of Fame Benedict
Mathurin,
you want him? Gary
I think could
Maxwell,
end up being
Jeff
potentially an All-American.
State.
I mean, they're going to put the ball in his hands, and he's a shot maker, and he's a scorer, and he competes at the defensive end. The battles inside the Pac-12 this year are going to be sensational.
Foul.
Hello and goodbye.
Second foul on Grand.
Singleton looking inside. Under 6 minutes to go here.
And as a result, it's a 3.
Campbell tried to slither that pass inside. Sometimes he can make it look really pretty. That time a little messy, but
down
foul on the play.
In the second half.
2 assists per game.
With 8 on the shot clock.
9 of 16 from the field. Finished. Minute by 20.
And
Started out well.
Is a 6'7" junior.
An impressive win.
To the foul line.
Mentioned that game, Duke Gonzaga coming up this Friday. That's can't miss television as well. You think about Paolo Banchero, who I think is going to be the #1 pick in the NBA draft this upcoming year.
Want to play positionless basketball so much.
I love how compact his game is. He catches the ball as Tony Bennett, very tight, very compact, and allows him to be explosive and get to where he wants to be. Now, when you saw him, he was still struggling from beyond the arc. He made a couple threes the other night. Like, I think he's got a good shot. I think those three-point percentage is going to drastically improve from the 12% he's been at. But he's not afraid of the big lights and the bright stage. And it's going to be fun to watch that game on Friday night against Gonzaga.
I think he really covets those
Turnaround
lights.
after 9:30.
And the key to their season, by the way, may not be those two freshmen. It may be Wendell Moore. It's his best version. He's in the best shape of his life. He's facilitating the offense. He knows exactly what Coach K wants. That's allowing those freshmen to grow in confidence incrementally.
He's drilling the jumper. Make it 64-47. Duke right now number 5 in the latest poll. Gonzaga will take on number 2. And number 5 within a couple of days of each other. Penn off the dribble will lay that up and in.
He's a tough customer. I mean, he just knows the angle that he needs. Like, I mean, that's really what it comes down to. It's geometry. I was not good in geometry, just in case you were wondering at home. But watch, he just drives baseline, looks like he's going to spin back, and then he settles actually right
done a good job. This is a pro.
Most coaches would be like, this is a
hit their
horrible
final
place
3.
to pick up your dribble. But what it allows him to do, because he is truly ambidextrous, so he can shoot with either his right or his left hand. Now, he'll shoot his free throws with his left hand, but he can just see that shoot either way. So he has no problem finishing underneath the hoop or around the basket with either hand, and that allows him to spin in either direction.
Well, he finishes the three-point play. So Bellarmine cutting the lead to 14.
A 16-12.
Juzang lets fly. It's had a cold night. Here's Penn, who's been the bright light. And passes like that even more so. They'll knock it down.
We're here in the second, and the best
really
scoring
impressed
defense.
with his game. I talked to him earlier today. Posted an interview up on my Instagram with Penn, and
for the night.
I asked him, you know, what's his game
points
like
on
to
8 of
schedule? And he goes, listen, I know we're getting challenged, and we know we're getting challenged. We go back and we watch the tape and we go, that was a good possession. Can we replicate that possession over and over again? They've had a lot of possessions tonight, mainly off of 13 and White. So really positive possessions that they're going to grow from as the season progresses.
No doubt.
Look at different shots.
13 and White is Dylan Penn, who came in at 15 points a game.
It's a great second half for this Florida team. They came.
Gives it off for Holt. Shot clock at 5. Fleming has to see that. Almost an impossible angle to make that shot as they nudge him out of the lane. Bruins to push it. Campbell. Jaquez barely got to the iron. (66-52) Bruins. Fleming and fouled by Campbell. Stops the clock at about 3.5 minutes to go here. Good Sam Empire Classic Game 1, 66-52 UCLA.
Think outside the oven and get thanks grilling with Ace. Get a Traeger grill to make tasty turkey and desserts. This week, take advantage of great deals on Traeger with free assembly and delivery on all grills $3.99 and up.
Ace is the place with the helpful hardware, folks.
Wasn't me.
You're never responsible for unauthorized purchases on your Discover card.
Did you see the one with mystery apartment girl?
She feels a breeze
Coming from behind the medicine cabinet.
So she looks behind it, and guess what she found? A hole.
How big was the hole?
Did she go in?
She squeezed her way through.
What does she find on the other side?
a totally abandoned.
Apartment, which is bigger than our apartment.
This is freaking me out, Tony.
No hidden apartment. Let's try the next room. And you know what? I'll stop talking now, but you just have to see it.
So Kate is helping you with an Avengers-level threat?
He's my partner.
It's kind of a stretch. I made a lot of powerful enemies. I can't go home until I fix it.
We're in this together, right?
We need a ton of trick arrows.
Gotta show me how you make those.
Marvel Studios' Hawkeye. First 2 episodes streaming November 24th.
ESPN's exclusive presentation of college basketball is brought to you by Camping World, America's #1 RV dealer, and BioSteel, the official hydration partner of the Empire Classic. BioSteel, clean, healthy hydration.
Dave, you know, I'm a fashionable guy.
You are?
But I don't have the swagger that you have. And sources tell me that your outfit later on tonight is going to look an awful lot like this guy's.
Wow. Now that's an outfit I would think a fashionable man in Las Vegas would wear.
I mean, that's good. See, you can see your head in the screen. Now, you want that outfit.
I do. Now he can pull it off.
He pulls it off with success.
Look at the shoes too. I mean, it's the whole ensemble, Sean.
The watch. He's got a great watch on.
Great watch.
That's Vegas right there. I love it.
Screams.
Look at people are texting.
Yeah.
I'm sure people are texting right now. He's looking at his phone.
Yeah.
But I mean, like, I love it. I'm getting better and better at the fashion game, but I don't think I have the swag to pull that off.
No, you're only human. And Fleming dips and it drops in. An outstanding foul. Should have made 87% last year.
Kind of one of those cruising games for UCLA. You know, I mean, they haven't really dominated in the way that you would maybe think or anticipate coming into this contest.
Pass thrown away by Juzang, and he's had a tough night on the other end of the floor. Nice catch by Holt to keep it alive. There's Fleming way downtown. Couldn't quite get there.
He had like Steph Curry moment for him. Real quick, he's like, where am I? Doesn't matter. This is going up.
Where am I? You have any moments like that when you played? Like, where on earth wait a minute, I've lost my mind.
No, because if I had those moments, I was going to be sitting on the bench real quick. When you have Jason Capono, Baron Davis, Earl Watson, Matt Barnes, you had to know where you are. Not only did I have to know where I was, I needed to know where they were.
Yes. 2.5 minutes to go. Good job by the Knights to hang around in this game. Fleming zips it here to Penn. He's been their star all season and tonight. Give off for Holt, and yes, 2.
It's a 10-point game.
With about 2 minutes to go.
And Mick Cronin going to call a timeout. He's played with a lot of different lineups here in the second half, and the Bruins haven't played with that same level of assertiveness. They came out to start the second half, and it was beautiful, and it was magical, and you're sitting there going, man, they're going to run away with this thing. The lead was 23 with 15:44 left to go here in the second half, and Bellarmine they just keep executing and making it work.
Well, you discussed it when Johnny Juzang went to the bench and put on his sweats. It looked for a while he might have been done for the night. He's come back in. Very difficult shooting night. He's 4 for 13. He's turned the ball over 4 times. Not feeling well. We do know that, but the Knights on an 11-4 run over the last 4.5 minutes.
Yeah, they've been on a great run, and it starts obviously at the defensive end of the floor. They've been able to create some turnover opportunities by some careless passing by UCLA, and then offensively, you know, they wear you down because of their movement. And if you aren't connected or committed to defend at the level that's necessary, inevitably you're going to have a lapse and they're going to exploit you. And they've done that.
So off the timeout, Tiger Campbell. Here's Singleton. It's been a bright light tonight for the Bruins. And a turnover.
That's just a careless pass.
You know they want Penn to handle it here, but he gives it up. Turned over right back to Singleton.
Hawkes just shoots the gap and knocks that ball away.
Over the top. Oh, the stuff by Johnson. Miles Johnson with authority.
That backboard is still shaking. That was a dunk.
That might be shaking into the Gonzaga Central Michigan game. Should follow here. Nice scoop shot by Betts. A minute 20 to go. 10-point lead. And Campbell to run a little clock here. Back for Johnson. Just had that thunderous dunk. Give him 2 more. And a quick strike on the opposite end.
Where's your defensive transition, though, if you're UCLA? You know, I mean, that's a prime example of having a mental lapse and watching and celebrating and thinking, hey, well, they're going to just throw the ball in front of us. They're not going to push it up the floor. And they are. And they're running down the floor, and they got those 2 points back quickly.
A gutsy effort by Bellarmine, moving from Division II to Division I just a year ago. And Mick Cronin.
Hey, look, Bellarmine, you're watching at home, and I challenge you to tell me exactly where Bellarmine's from. You know, a lot of fans across college basketball, certainly here on the West Coast, they'd have no idea. Louisville, Kentucky. They play in Freedom Hall, the old building in which the U of L used to play in before they moved to the Yum Center. Brand new locker room facilities. Like they have upgraded, and their belief is that their system is going to work. And they make no mistake about it. They know this is a process to transition from D2 to D1 and be a D2 power and be able to find success at the D1 level, the high D1 level against these kind of opponents. You do have to have a different athlete than what they have. But Coach Davenport told me, listen, we think even right now we can compete, and we just have to be true to who we are and not lose our identity regardless of what division we're playing in. Our offense worked for a long, long time at the D2 level. There's no reason it can't find success at the D1 level, and a 10-point game with the #2 team in the country.
Yeah. Well, Purdue, number 7 in the country, blew them out 96-67. Gonzaga did too, 92-50, but been a different story tonight here in Las Vegas. 45 seconds to go. Campbell. And up and in by Juzang underneath. Make it a 12-point game. And another turnover by the Knights here down the stretch.
Well, for UCLA, they're going to get out of here and they're going to have their win. They're going to stay perfect and get to 5-0. Now all sights, all attention shifts to #1 in the country, the Gonzaga Bulldogs, and the rematch from that Final Four game.
And that will be tomorrow night on ESPN. From the corner, Bernard will knock that down to make it 75-60. And up and in by Dylan Penn. Really had a fine game. And that will do it. 75-62 the final. As mentioned, UCLA remains undefeated. Bruins now 5-0.
Look at the brace.
A little nicked up there at the end, but appears to be all right.
You know, sometimes we see blow-bys in the head coach handshake line. Mick Cronin just spent the last 45 seconds hugging and talking to Coach Davenport. The friendship, and look at hugging C.J. Fleming, who I mentioned his dad coached Coach Cronin at LaSalle High School. There's so many connections interwoven between these two programs. It's great to see the camaraderie between the two head coaches. And for UCLA, listen, the best thing you're going to say is Peyton Watson got going. And if Peyton Watson can stay going,